each individual is a complex, fluid, multifaceted being. Labels, which we are drawn to, because we want to feel the solidity of our individualized existence. If we walk around without any labels, we'd feel as if we don't exist, as if we didn't exist, we weren't existing. So labeling ourselves gives us the sense of, this is me, I am this, and it feels good to feel defined. But then the counterintuitive thing is, when we hold on to these labels, because our current level of understanding of our multifaceted being is so limited that the labels that we are able to offer together with our limited level of understanding or loving, these labels confine us more than defining us. No matter it is a positive or a negative label, any adjective could be a label. In my case, I, for always, have been consciously and unconsciously using such adjectives to describe myself, and I thought they were defining. Such as poetic, profound, philosophical, even beautiful. Well, maybe not beautiful. I mean, yes, beautiful, but that word is not most relevant here in this discussion. Let's just say these first three: poetic, profound, philosophical. And because of my limited level of understanding, and because these words really sound good, I like everyone with positive adjectives labeling themselves, hold on to these words. And what happens is, you think you are, this is what you are. I think this is what I am. And the problem in thinking so is if this is what I am, then I am replaceable. There are people that are more poetic than me, more philosophical than me, and more profound than me, such as people that are more articulate than me. They would speak in much more profound ways, or they would use much more delicate vocabulary or poetry when speaking, and then it feels like as if then they are more than me, because like we said in the beginning, we use these labels to feel the solidity of our existence. This is me. And in my case, I am poetic, philosophical, profound. This is me. The problem is when someone more poetic, more philosophical shows up, I look at them, it gives this very funky, interesting feeling, which is also very desperate feeling. That is, they are more than me. They seem to be more of me than I am. If I am poetic, profound, philosophical, someone more poetic, profound, philosophical showing up makes me feel unavoidably that they are more than me. I am less than them if I am these three words. And for a decade, I've felt that way. I felt, yes, these are me. And I've been okay with that because I've never met anyone that I can describe with these three words until I found someone. It doesn't have to be someone that shows up in my life, but with the internet you get to see people, many more people that without internet you would never meet in your whole life. So I get to see some individuals that these three labels could define them even more, or they would be more suitable, or they are much more qualified wearers of these three labels. I feel so incredibly this existential soreness in my being. I can't even tell if it's a physical sensation or just I don't know, it's just this feeling of soreness rising within me, and it is so profound, and it is so sorrowful. And then I realized, as I was watching the clouds today, I thought, can I just be me without labels? Without being tied to, without holding on to any of the labels? Or is there a way that I can be and feel my existence without without narrowing my understanding of me? Because whenever you narrow down, I don't even know how to describe. I need to close the window because the wind sounds are distracting. It's very windy. Can I just be me and find a way to feel the solidity of my being without labeling? Because whenever you label, whenever you concretize, I don't know if there's a word, whenever you tangibilize, verbalize, describe a part of you using concrete concepts, I don't know if all concrete concepts, concrete labeling would result in the same consequence that I just told you about. Well, we could explore that. At least what I do know is philosophical, profound, and poetic. Yes, they would bring that consequence. Existential crisis. I would say it is an existential crisis, which is fun enough. If you ask me, I can't come up with, because I just realized I am someone that's been so conditioned to look at myself with a highly narrowed vision all my life. Because I've been highly defining myself. Any word that I have used to describe myself has been used to make me feel better than other people. To differentiate myself from people. Oh, what was that? Oh, nothing. It's just the paint of the ceiling of the balcony fell off. I thought it was something weird. Where's my phone? I seem to be always in this state of competitiveness. Like I just have to feel more than someone else because I have perceived more that they have than me. So I must be more than them in another aspect. The problem then does not lie in me perceiving me being more than others, but it lies in how I perceive any other people as more than I am. So I have always perceived me to be less than others in some aspects, which is the root of this great need to feel that I am more than others in other aspects, so that I could not collapse and break down. And so now the question is not how do I stop looking at myself in ways to make me feel more than other people, but how do I stop seeing me as less? Which parts do I see me as less? Because obviously, if I do not see me as less, then I wouldn't have the need to feel like more. Obviously. Well, yeah, if you ask, I can see how I profoundly experience this feeling of self-criticism, self-loathing, how I was never so clear. I have never had this clarity until this very point to see how my self-loathing coexists with my self-admiration. I just thought, before this point, I never looked at it this way. I just thought they exist like this because I flip and flop a lot. Like my mind changes a lot. How I feel changes a lot. So it depends on my mood when I am in self-admiration mode or self-loathing mode. I did not see the correlation between the two. I thought they were just separate and independent. How my self-loathing is just as superficial as my self-admiration. I have seen how my self-admiration is everything but love. It's just self-appreciation in a way that is using these positive adjectives to label myself. I like me rather than I love me. Because love is not loving something that is good or beautiful. What love is not I love you because you're beautiful, but because I love you. That's why you're beautiful. That's why I can see that you're beautiful. Not because I can see that you're beautiful, then I love you, but I love you. Well, it's quite impossible to understand, because I'm trying to somehow understand it. I can't. I love you. That's why you are beautiful. That's why I see that you're beautiful. There is no reason to love. I love you because you are. I love you because you are you. It's just, what is love then? I still will say love is deep understanding, and it isn't verbalized understanding. It is seeing someone profoundly as they are. Maybe we can describe love. We cannot describe love because love is the upper limit of our language system. Love is the ceiling of our understanding. All of our understanding happens below the level of love. So we can't possibly try to describe love using our current language system because it's all below it. They try to describe it. Love is appreciation. Love is gratitude. I'm grateful that you are. Love is, well, that was just the best I could get at describing it. What is love? Well, it's profound understanding. That's all I can say. I understand. I see you. What was it that we were talking about before I asked what is love? So the only reason why we don't love someone is because we don't understand them deeply. Yes, that's very true. That rings the bell of truth in me. There is no other reason for not loving anyone other than not understanding them. Because whenever you can deeply understand someone, you automatically love them. Spontaneously, automatically, unavoidably, unstoppably, you love them. From the place of deep understanding. Love is deep understanding. Is love. Well, what should we do then? That's the question that rises right after. What should we do? Again, whenever a question has the word do in it, the answer is always you follow your heart. Be the most authentic you, which is more specifically, you follow your highest excitement moment by moment. You always follow want love rather than should. And the only should that should be your motivation to do something is you should do what you love to do. That is the answer to all the questions with the word do in it. What should I do? What can I do? What do we do about it? What to do? Do. It's always, the answer is always you follow your heart. While remembering that the definition of love, that is not just the definition, but what love is deep understanding. So whenever you look at someone, when you someone that you think you hate, you loathe, don't say I hate you, I loathe you. But just say quietly to yourself, I don't understand them deeply. And as soon as you become aware of this, every negative feeling you have about anyone softens immediately into the direction towards love. There is no hatred, there is no anger, there is no hatred. Yeah, that's all it is. There's no fear, there is just not enough understanding. That is all there is. And what do we do when we don't understand someone? Again, it's the same answer. Follow your heart, you will know what to do. Moment by moment, in every situation, you do exactly what you're supposed to do. The only thing that you should do because you love to do that is to follow your heart, follow your highest excitement, follow the direction of joy, of effortlessness, of the absence of strain. Wherever there is strain, you go the opposite direction. Wherever there is this great effort, like you have to put this feeling, you go the other direction of joy, of light, of the direction of more aliveness, more lightness. That is what you should do because you love to do it. You love to follow truth, which is the embodiment of you. And whenever you don't follow truth, there's so much dissonance in your being that you suffer. So whenever you suffer, you know that you're going in the wrong direction. What suffering is, it's a bell ringing telling you, wrong way, wrong way. And this applies within ourselves as well. Whenever there is self-loathing, self-criticism, self-hatred, self-judgment, self-harshness, you just pause and recognize I am not deeply understanding myself right now. This judgment comes from a place of the lack of deep understanding. Because however profoundly you come up with a judgment against someone, you can come up with a judgment that sounds as poetic, as philosophically profound as possible, but as long as it is a judgment that makes that does not make you feel more light, more hope, more love, then it is the opposite of truth. You can look at a politician, you write a most profound, most philosophical essay talking about them negatively and how much they are bad and blah, blah, blah. You know, there are so many fancy words out there, poetic, abstract, stream of consciousness negativity against someone. And that is not profound at all, because deep understanding is what love is. And if you do not feel love for someone, yourself included, you are not understanding them deeply. You are understanding them less than deep, which is shallow. It's shallow. It is shallow. All of your criticism against anyone, yourself included, comes from this place of great shallowness. It is so shallow to the point that you aren't even aware of its shallowness, that you even still believe that it is profound. I am criticizing this person. I'm criticizing myself, and I feel it's so deeply true. My criticism is so deeply true. It's so profound, this criticism I have. You know, you write a fancy poem about someone yourself and contained with self-loathing. It can sound as poetic as possible. It can win a Nobel Prize, but let me tell you, if it does not make you feel love, it is shallow. It is shallow. There is nothing that is profound other than love. Well, things can be profound here in this world. Things can be profound, but you're talking about this profoundity in terms of complexity rather than true profundity. That is unobscured vision of clarity. That is deep seeing. That is seeing with vision unobscured, like the fire of truth, that does not buy into any surface level appearance, behavior, that does not get led off track, does not sway, does not waver. It's so profound that it pierces through anything that isn't truth, isn't the nature of something or someone, as easily as fire going through layers of dried tissue paper. That is true profundity. And it feels so good to have said it, expressed it. So from now on, you can get great relief from hatred, from anger, from loathing, from resentment, judgments, no matter it's towards other people or yourself. Whenever you catch yourself holding that, remember to tell yourself, I am not deep right now. I am not deeply understanding right now. I do not understand them or me deeply, holding this judgment. This judgment is shallow. Is shallow. It is shallow. When you see someone as poetic, you must also see that when they are not poetic. A poet doesn't always write poems. A poet also picks their nose, poops, maybe even spits. And why are you excluding those parts of them from poeticness? Then you have a very shallow definition of that word. And when you see someone as profound, you must also see parts of them. That are not profound. And if you see parts of them as not profound, then your definition of profundity is, again, very not profound. I think I have a very twisted definition of profanity because I look at the world with extremely sharply judgmental eyes. I see things as insanely profound, some things, and many things as insanely shallow. And that must mean that I am very blind, very blind, very short-sighted, very blind, partially blind. When you perceive some things to be extremely lovable, you definitely will perceive things that are extremely not lovable. And then your vision of love does not exist, let me tell you. You do not see love at all. Even when you look at things that are extremely lovable, it is conditional love, because love is not loving. Again, love is not loving beautiful things, good things, great things. And then when you see some things as extremely beautiful, you definitely will see things that are extremely ugly. And then your definition of beauty is so not beautiful, is so not beautiful, is so shallow, extremely ugly. Yes. Let's say, for example, a daughter taking care of their mother. You would say, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But the same daughter, so mad one day, slaps her mother. You would say, ugly, ugly. Or vice versa, or something, other things you can come up with. And then I would say you are not coming from a place of deep understanding, because profoundity is love. Beauty is love. There is nothing that is beautiful that isn't love. And love is deep understanding. It's not loving beautiful things. You see, let's say someone like a saint giving all of their belongings to people. Indefinitely giving a person that is so loving, kind, always prioritizing other people. You say, this person is extremely beautiful. And then you look at a murderer stabbing people on the street. You say, this person is extremely ugly. And you're still stuck in that place where it's a place where you can't love yourself. Because if that's how you judge the world, what you're doing when you're calling that saint extremely beautiful, I was gonna say something, but I feel it's not entirely true. When you appreciate something beautiful, you are seeing their nature. It's kind of complicated. When you are I think maybe it's true when you appreciate someone profoundly, like someone that's so loving and kind, and you appreciate them so much. That is when you are not obscured. And the challenging part is when you see someone as a murderer and you are not appreciating them at all. That is when you are obscured. And you're standing in a place where you can't give yourself unconditional love. Because if that's how you judge the world, you are judging yourself that way as well. As in, you only love yourself when you perceive yourself to be good. The thing is, it's not wrong. It isn't untrue that we have to, like, something lovable is good. But that your definition of goodness is very, 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 very not well thought of. Not deep, very surface level, very blind. What is beauty? There is nothing about our existence. There is nothing about anyone's existence. There's no part of anyone's existence that isn't profound, that isn't beautiful, no matter what they're doing. Our definition of goodness is not reliable, is not love. Because we have the opposite of goodness in our dictionary that proves that we have a very shallow understanding of ourselves and of others, of us. Because we see the world using these same eyes to see ourselves. If we are able to love ourselves, we will be loving the world, vice versa. If we see the world as in good and bad and beautiful and ugly, and in a state of complete judgment and no loving, that's how we look at ourselves as well. And what should we do then? Well, again, the same answer. You already know it. I don't have to recite it again. Plus, remembering that love is deep understanding. And when you're not finding yourself in love with someone, just tell yourself in your mind, or saying it out loud. I am not deeply understanding this person, or I am not deeply understanding me. Things will flow from there, will soften and flow when you let go of holding on to these thorns and confinement, when you realize that they are not real. You let go and everything softens and flows into place when you're not holding them, when you're not cutting them off, when you're not tightly holding on to the belief that this politician is evil, devil. And when you soften from that place and realize, I am not deeply understanding them as a person, a being, an individual as complex as me, with a life as complicated as mine that I can never know, because I have only lived my life, then you soften and it softens and it flows, and you will find yourself flowing too. And just what you should do again is just follow your heart, follow your highest excitement moment by moment. Follow your suffering. When you suffer, you go the opposite way. Follow lightness, brightness. Follow warmth. Follow where you want to go. You want to go. You always know which place you prefer. Naturally. We are love. We always flow towards the direction of love when we let ourselves. No matter when we let ourselves or not, when we do not let ourselves, we so want to let ourselves that we suffer. When you don't let yourself love, because you so want to love, you suffer. So you eventually will soften. You eventually will let yourself. So no matter you let yourself or not, things will always work out. It's like water. You can never stop water from going to a lower place. You can try to stop it. Always, eventually it will wane. Let's say it's the water of infinity. Eventually, you can't stop it. It's unstoppable. It can turn a stone into sand. You can't stop water. And you are so much more dense and enormous than water. Because you are love. Love is the content of existence. Truth. Fire. Just live, and you will see. What's unstoppable will not be stopped. However hard you try, you can't be off the path towards love wherever you are. In whichever direction you're going, you cannot. You are never lost. Ever. If you don't believe me, you will find out. You don't have to believe anything, anyone, any words, because you will find out. And you will find yourself in love at the end. Just keep walking your path. Doing whatever you're doing. Breathing. Or not breathing. Anything. And I pray for your love for you. Thank you for listening.